you so much for being here tonight. As many of you know, this play has been a very long time coming, and we're finally ready to perform. Yay! My name is Jen Jarrett. I am the theater director here at Nevis School. I want to draw your attention to the playbill. There are a number of people and organizations listed under the with gratitude portion, and they've been so important to us. Take a look at that, and you might be surprised to see some of the folks that are on there. Northern Light Opera Company has been of great help to us, the DAC in Park Rapids, so take a look at that. For those of you sad souls who have never seen Arsenic and Old Lace, I want to just run through the synopsis with you quickly. It's a comedy revolving around the Brewster family. Mortimer Brewster is our dramatic hero who must deal with his crazy, murderous family in Brooklyn as he debates whether or not he's going to go through with his recent promise to marry the woman he loves, Elaine Harper, the girl next door, daughter of the local minister. Mortimer's family includes two spinster aunts who have taken to murdering lonely old people. They give them a glass of homemade elderberry wine with arsenic, strychnine, and just a pinch of cyanide. A brother who believes he is Teddy Roosevelt and dig block for the Panama Canal in the cellar of the Brewster home, which then serves as graves for the aunt's victims. He thinks they died of yellow fever. And a murderous brother who has received plastic surgery performed by an alcoholic accomplice, Dr. Einstein, to conceal his identity, and now looks like a horror film actor. So your basic Nevis family. The entire play takes place in the Brewster home over the course of about 15 to 20 hours. It's September 1941, so this is pre-Pearl Harbor. The United States has not entered World War II yet. It is a long play. It's in 3 acts. We will take a 10-minute intermission after Act 1. And during intermission, we invite you to have tea biscuits, cookies really, an elderberry beverage, which we promise is not poisoned. And to do that, what you're going to do is go out these doors and then go to the left to the a la carte area. At the end of tonight's performance, after the cast and crew have taken their bows, I will recognize a handful of students, and then the cast and crew will form a receiving line, and you can tell them what a great job they did. Thank you for coming. It matters. I'm a 40-something-year-old woman. My parents are here. My daughter from out of town is here. It matters. It always matters. So thank you for coming. Before I turn the stage over to the kids, please make sure all of your noisemakers are set to silent. It's fine to take pictures. Please don't use a flash, just because the actors are easily frightened. That's the only reason. We are recording our performances, and you will be able to view that recording online in the coming weeks. Don't ask me tonight or tomorrow. It won't be ready yet, but soon. The very last thing I have to say to you, and this is by far the most important thing, is that while you might be, in fact, it's a very good chance that you are Scandinavian, this is a comedy. So laughing out loud is required. The actors cannot hear you smiling. So let loose with your belly laughs. We hope you enjoy this classic comedy, Arsenic and Old Lace.
Incredible, Dr. Harper. In just 2 short years, you've really taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. And the spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons aren't so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons, or Have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the quiz. We always put a little apple in with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
You know, I do hope they don't make us use that dreadful imitation flour again. It may not be very charitable of me, but I'm starting to think this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir!
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way!
Gun?
Teddy!
To the west! There's your danger! There's your enemy! Japan!
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy!
No, Aunt Abby. Not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Will you have another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Another cup of tea, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. Although, I must admit that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
Yes, it's peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight and good manners and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's exactly as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Well, except for the electricity, and we used that as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
Oh, the poor boy has to work so late. Oh, I understand. It's Elaine Mortimer's taking to the theater with him. Oh, Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be back a little later.
Delighted.
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Dr. Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
Since it was here, in our house, that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby, and so I'll say right away that Mortimer himself seems to be quite a worthy gentleman, but I must also admit that I've watched the growing intimacy between he and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it, so the poor boy.
No, Miss Abby, I'll be frank with you. I speak of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt but what some of them do develop an interest in it.
Oh, well, not Mortimer. You have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes dreadful things about the theater. Oh, but you can't blame him, the poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about, and then they made him take this dreadful night position.
My.
Oh, but like he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway. And in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, perhaps if we give the theater another year or two. Oh no, Teddy, I'll get it. Hello, Officer Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Officer Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
Good evening. What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid at ease.
You know Dr. Harper?
Yes, hello, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's a splendid work you officers do, fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a merrier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do instead of sitting around the station. You get tired playing cards, then you start cleaning your gun. Well, the next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room. Is Mr. Brophy better? Mr. Brophy's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Charge!
He's better now, a little weak still.
Well, I'll go get you some broth to take to him.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for him already.
Oh, it's no bothers. Sister Martha's taking some to a poor man who broke oh so ever many bones. I'll be right back. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go through all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I first received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that!
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get a release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors race came with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt? There's a lot worse people he could think he was.
It's a shame, and I just feel like this hatching a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, well, I've heard he was a little crazy too.
Yeah, he was crazy, like a fox, even $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a kind of quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He has a house as a kind of clinic. Tried him on people.
Yeah, I hear he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
Not that they ever spent any of it on themselves.
I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know a tenth of it. When I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were trying to trace an old man that we never did find. Did you know there's a renting agency that's got this house down on its list of furnished rooms? They don't even rent rooms here, but you can bet that anybody who comes here looking for a room goes away with a good meal and probably a few dollars in their kick.
It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well, now isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
Good afternoon, Officer Brophy. Dr. Harper, Officer Klein.
How are you, Miss Brewster? We dropped to get the Christmas toys.
Why, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all upstairs.
The Colonel's upstairs after him. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Why, yes, of course. I do hope Mr. Brophy's better.
He's doing better now. Your sister's getting me some soup to take to him.
Why, yes, of course. We made that soup just this morning. I just took some to a man who broke so many bones. Oh, Martha, you're back! How is Mr. Basinski? Oh, he's not doing well, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning. Can we be present? No. I asked him, but he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Well, here's the bra. Be sure it's good pop.
Yes, ma'am.
This is fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy.
That's General Miles. I've retired him. What's this? The Oregon.
Teddy dear, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
But Teddy.
Who cares what kid gets it? Bobby Evans? Izzy Cohen? We'll run along then, and thank you very much.
Not at all.
I really must be going.
Goodbye. Oh, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
Why, yes, of course. The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no. No. He loves being Teddy Roosevelt. Once, a long time ago. Do you remember, Martha? We thought George Washington might be a good change for him, but he just stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anyone. And we'd so much rather he be Teddy Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy, you will see that he signs these.
What are these?
They're commitment papers.
Oh, well, why should Teddy sign any papers now?
Well, it's better to have it all taken care of. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, we might not be able to persuade Teddy to commit himself, and that would mean an unpleasant legal procedure. Miss Witherspoon understands they're to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Miss Witherspoon? Who's she?
She's the superintendent of Happydale.
Dr. Harper's arranged for her to come by tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
Well, I really must be going, or Elaine will be over here after me.
Oh, give our love to Elaine. And Dr. Harper, please don't think too harshly of Mortimer because he's a drama critic. Somebody has to do those things. Abby, did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late? Yes. And dinner's going to be late too. So why? Oh, Teddy, good news. You're going down to Panama to take another look for the canal.
Bully! That's just bully! I shall prepare for the journey at once! Charge!
Abby, while I was out, well, Dr. Harper I didn't know when you'd be back, so...
All by yourself?
Oh, I got along fine.
Well, I'll run right downstairs and see.
Oh, no, there wasn't time.
Abby?
Martha, just look and see what's in the window seat. Oh, hello, Elaine.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
No, he just ran off. Didn't you see him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Come sit down. You know, we really must speak to him about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, when a young man is taking a young woman out, he should wait for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
He's done this far too many times. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After a young man whose idea of nightlife was to take me to a prayer meeting, it's refreshing to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, yes. It's wonderful for us, too, because if Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, well, at least he's sitting next to the minister's daughter.
Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us not having tea cleared away by this time.
Don't you bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer gets back. Mortimer should be here any minute.
Yes, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I better run over and say goodnight to him.
It's a shame you missed him, dear.
Yes, if Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Why, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, hello. Oh, Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
Well, I was gonna run over and speak to Father and tell him not to wait up for me tonight.
I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Oh, Mortimer!
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
All right. You look well yourself. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
It was yesterday, wasn't it? My, we're seeing a great deal of you lately. Well, come sit down, sit down.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen?
What?
You know, the tea things.
Right. Tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home.
Just make yourselves at home.
Wow, can't you take a hint?
That's pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you should say.
Where do you want to go for dinner tonight?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
That'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. We should be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
But are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical isn't opening tonight.
No.
Dear, you'll have to learn the rules with the musical. There are always 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. They like it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh. I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals have a somehow humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway and I listen to a lecture on the drama. After that, you take me home in a taxi and you make a few passes.
Now wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Byrne play, you told me that I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after a first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I have 2.
For a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
Darling, I'll have to learn that. I'll have to explain that to you sometimes. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better run over and speak with Father.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
Falling in love with the girl in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
The only way I can regain my self-respect is keeping in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I just realized that you're holding out for the legalities.
I've afforded to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
But I can't wait that long. Where could we be married, say, tonight?
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh God, I bet your father can make anything sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Sorry, darling, it's an occupational disease. I may give that play tonight a good notice.
Now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I think I better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell to publish the bans.
Nevertheless.
All right, everything formal and legal, but not later than next month.
Darling! I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
Actually, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There will be a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer!
Hello, Mr. President.
What news have you brought me?
Justice, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Teddy, where are you off to?
Panama!
Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal down there.
You're so sweet with him. And he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy is my favorite brother after all.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There's another brother, Jonathan.
Oh, I've never heard of him before. Your aunt's never mentioned him.
We don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn early by request. He was the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in half with his teeth.
Oh. What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he didn't want to go to medical school for it. And his practice got him into a lot of trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh no, we're skipping dinner tonight. We won't have to start for half an hour.
Oh, well, I'll leave you two alone again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm gonna run over and speak to Father. He likes to pray over me a little before I go out with you. I'll be right back. I'll cut through the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd like to lead you beside distilled waters.
Mortimer! That's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible! We knew Elaine would be a good influence on you!
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Martha! Martha! Martha, get in here! Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married! Married? Oh, Mortimer! Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world!
Happy, just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That statue there. That's a Hornita Crenina.
No, dear. That's just Emma B. Stout, ascending to heaven.
No, that's standing on Mrs. Stout's left ear. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those in my entire life.
Mortimer, I don't see how you can be thinking of a bird right now. What with Elaine and the engagement and everything.
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope around here last week. Have you seen it?
No, but if you left it here, it must be somewhere. Well, Mortimer, what are your plans? What can you tell us about Elaine?
Oh, Elaine, she thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapters on Thoreau.
Well, Martha, let's have a celebration! Oh, Martha, do we have any of that Lady Baltimore cake left? Yes. Oh, and I'll open a bottle of wine! Oh, and I think it happened in this room! Well, Mortimer, with your fiancé sitting by you tonight, I do hope the play can be something you can enjoy for once! Oh, it might even be something romantic! What's it called?
Murder will out.
Oh dear.
The first thing you'll see when the curtain rises shall be a dead body. Aunt Abby,
Yes, dear?
you made plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happy Dale?
Yes, Dr. Harper dropped by and dropped the papers off just this afternoon.
He's got to sign them right away.
You know, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. That way there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
Teddy's got to sign them this minute. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here right away.
Well, there's no such hurry as that, darling.
No, when Teddy starts work on the canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
He's got to go to Happydale. He's got to go now, tonight.
No, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
He's got to go this minute, I tell you, right away.
Now, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Darlings, I have some frightfully shocking news for you. You know, we've got to try and keep our heads. You know, we've sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happydale. Why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing against Teddy? Your own brother.
You might as well know sometime. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, darling.
There's a dead body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know.
Why, yes, of course, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, you know, now that you've seen him, just forget about it.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peek.
Well, who is he?
Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him. Well, except that he's a Methodist, of course.
That's all you know about him? What happened to him? How did he get in there?
He died.
Aunt Abby, men just don't get into window seats and die.
No, he drank wine with poison in it.
Well, how did the poison get into the wine?
Well, we put it in the wine because when it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming to tea.
So, you know what you've done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. Just forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman. I do think your Aunt Martha and I have our rights to our own little secrets.
And don't you tell Elaine about any of this. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped on Mrs. Schultz. She wants us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, we'll have to do that tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to. I will not be dragged into another one of those scary pictures.
Hello, Al. This is Mort. Say, Al, when I left the office today, I told you where I was going. Yes, It would take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn, correct? Yes, and what time have you got? That's right, I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a dead body in there.
Yes, dear. Mr. Hoskins.
Well, good heavens, I can't turn you over to the police, but what am I going to do?
Well, first things first, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We know exactly what's to be done.
Well, you just can't leave him there.
Well, we don't intend to, dear.
Now, Mortimer, you're too old to be flying off the handle like this. You behave yourself now.
So what are you going to do with him?
Well, we're planning on putting him with the others.
Others?
Yes, others.
What you mean, like, others? Do you mean, like, more than one others?
Yes. Let's see, this is 11 now, isn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this makes 12.
No, I think you're wrong, Abby. This is only 11.
No, you see, when Mr. Hoskins came in, it occurred to me that this would make just an even dozen.
Well, you really shouldn't count the first one.
Well, I was counting the first one.
Hello. Oh, hello, Al. My, is it good to hear your voice.
Anyway, they're all down in the cellar.
Oh no, Al, I'm sober as a lark. I just called you because I was feeling a little you wouldn't know. Al, look, I'm glad you called. Get a hold of George right away. He's got to review the play tonight. I can't make it. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Well, George has got to cover that play tonight. This is my department and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. Well, where were we? 12?
Yes, your Aunt Abby believes we should count the first one, and that makes it 12.
Well, who was the first?
Mr. Migley. He was a Baptist.
Of course. I still think we can't claim full credit for him just because he died.
Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Migley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
And it didn't seem right to let such a lovely room go to waste when there were so many people who needed it.
Yes, he was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, and it left him so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And when his heart attack came, and he just sat right in this chair, dead. Martha and I decided right then and there that if we could help other lonely old people to that same place, we would.
He died right in that chair. How awful for you.
Oh no, dear. Why, it was rather like old times. You see, your grandfather used to have a cadaver or two around the house, and Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
And that meant he had to be buried right away, so...
Well, we all took him down to Panama and buried him right into the lock. Now that's why we told you not to worry, dear. We know exactly what's to be done.
So that's how all this started, with that man walking in here and dropping dead.
Of course, we knew we couldn't count on it happening again, so...
You remember those jars of poison up in your grandfather's old laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've tasted enough of her piccalilli.
Well, darling, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoonful of arsenic, then half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Ooh, indeed. One of our gentlemen even found time to say, how delicious.
Well, I must get things started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you could join us for dinner.
Yes, I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
Oh, yes, that's right. You're waiting for Elaine. Oh, how happy you must be. Well, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, it's you!
Oh, don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, and so I told him about us, and that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Oh, well, Elaine, you've got to go home.
What? But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Something come up.
Darling, Mortimer, you've lost your job?
No, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight, so you run along home.
But certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
But if we're gonna get married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Well, yes, that's still on as far as I know. So, you run along home, and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Listen, you can't propose to me 1 minute and throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house. Now, will you please get out of here?
No, I won't. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Elaine! Oh, hello, Al. Yes. Yes, right, Al. Okay, it can wait, can it? It can wait. It's important, but it can wait. Elaine, I love you very much. You're the girl of my dreams, but there's just something very important I have to attend to, so you run along home.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married and I have problems to face, unless you're I hope that you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Hello? Hello, Al? Hello?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. Oh, how do you do? Come in.
I understand you have a room to rent.
Oh yes, won't you come in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Oh, we were just setting the table for dinner. Won't you pull up?
Hello, let me talk to Al again. City desk? Al, city desk? What? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room?
Well, let's get acquainted first.
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
It's your home in Brooklyn.
I haven't got a home. I live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Well, are your family Brooklyn people?
I haven't got any family.
Well, Martha? Well, you've come to just the right house.
Hello, Al, Mort, we got cut off. Al, I can't cover that place tonight. That's all there is to it. I can't.
Well, what church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian. Used to be.
What's George doing in Bermuda? Certainly I told him he can go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? We've got to get somebody. Who else is there around the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
There must be somebody around the place. Look, Al, how about the office boy? You know, the bright one? The one we don't like? Well, you look around the office. I'll hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
Why don't you try a glass of our wine before we go?
Now touch it.
Well, it's elderberry wine. We make it ourselves.
Elderberry wine? Haven't tasted elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thank you.
Well, there must be some critics around. Look, Al, the fellow who sets my copies, he's ought to know what I write. His name is Joe. He's the third machine from the left. But Al, he might turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm going to start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might, but first see whether or not you like our wine.
Mortimer,
Mortimer! Not that.
Gibbs, you have to go. You have to leave. You have to go. Do you want to be poisoned? Do you want to die?
Well, now you've spoiled everything!
Aunties, I don't know how to explain this to you, but it's not only wrong, it's illegal. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
I mean, well, I just mean this has become a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello. All right, I'll see the first act and I'll pan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you've got to do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of our legal department. Now don't let me down. Okay, I'm starting now. I have to head to the theater and I can't get out of it, so will you promise me something?
It depends on what it is.
You know, I love you, and I know that you love me, and I know that you know I'd do anything in the world for you. So can you promise me this little thing?
Well, what do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. Well, I don't mean don't do anything. Just don't let anyone's house. And leave Mr. Hoskins where he is.
Why?
I need some time to think, and I have quite a little to think about.
Well, we were planning on holding services right after dinner.
Services?
Why, yes, of course. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist server, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Well, can't that wait until I get back?
Ooh, then Mortimer could join us. Oh, Mortimer, you like the hymns?
Yes, yes.
Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir? Before his voice changed.
So, it's a promise.
Well, I suppose.
I've got to go to the theater, and I need some paper. Have you got any?
Well, here's some stationery. Will this do?
Perfect. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Well, Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, that's only natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Oh, yes. I do hope that when they're on their vacation, their honeymoon, it'll give Mortimer real rest. I don't think he got much this summer.
Oh, well, I think to Mortimer, the theater's always been pretty small potatoes. And he needs something big to criticize. Something like the human race.
Well, if Mortimer's going to join us for services, I should get another hymnal. There's one in my room.
Oh, Martha, since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to read the services.
Well, that's very kind of you, dear. But are you sure you want me to do it?
It's only fair.
Well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and mother's old brooch.
Well, who do you suppose that is?
Abby, we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in.
Well, who do you think it is?
Well, just give me a minute and I'll look. It's two men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure. They come in a black car.
Well, let me see.
Do you recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
Well, I suppose we'll have to hide and pretend we're not home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from it. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, it's a fine hideout.
I just hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the arrival of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks.
As though we were expected a good omen.
Who are you?
Oh.
What are you doing here?
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, it's me, Jonathan.
You get out of here!
You're not our Jonathan, so don't pretend you are.
But I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
Oh, and he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Albert Einstein, Herman Einstein.
You're not our nephew, so you just get out of here.
Why? Aunt Abby, I see you're still wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought back in England, and Martha, still the high collar tied the scar where grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's!
Have you been in an accident?
Yeah, no, my face. Dr. Einstein's responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. Changes people's faces.
Abby, I've seen that face before. Remember when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face!
Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one right away. This last face, well, just before I operated, I may have been intoxicated.
You see what you've done to me, Doctor? My own family!
Easy, Shawnee, easy. You're home in this beautiful house. How often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this house, about the aunts that he loves so much. Shawnee, they know it's you. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him so.
Well, Jonathan, what have you been up to?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
Oh my God. England, South Africa, Australia, last 5 years Chicago. Oh, Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
We were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found it awfully warm.
Yeah, it's got hot for us too.
Oh, it's good to be back in Brooklyn. You two haven't changed a bit, just as I remember you. Sweet, charming, hospitable, and dear Teddy. Did he ever get into politics? My younger brother, Doctor, he was determined to become president.
Oh, Teddy's fine. Teddy's fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I've heard of Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early, nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's very nice to have seen you again.
But, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Well, we'll be off unless you've got someplace to go.
Well, we get the meal anyway. Okay, so we got to think fast. The police have got the picture of that face. I got to find a place where to operate on you. I got to find a place for Mr. Spinoza too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But Shawnee.
Forget Mr. Spinoza!
But Shawnee, you can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat. He was a nice fellow. He gives us lifts. And what happened?
Said I look like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did this to me.
Then now, Shawnee, I'll find a place. I fix you up quick. Tonight! Shawnee, I'm weak. I'm hungry. Candy.
Well, Jonathan, we're happy you remembered us and took the time to come and say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy with you in it. So we've just come to say goodbye.
Well, Aunt Abby, I can't say that her feelings towards me come as a surprise, but I spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite the trial to us,
But
Jonathan.
my greatest regret is Dr. Einstein. I promised him no matter how rushed we were in passing through Brooklyn that we would stop home from one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, I'm sorry, there just won't be enough.
Well, Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Oh, pot roast. How wonderful.
I think the least we could do is,
All right, then we'll stay for dinner.
Well, we must get everything hurried along in the kitchen.
yes.
Since we're all in a hurry. Oh, Jonathan, you want to wash up? You can use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory.
Is that still there?
Yes, exactly as he left it.
Doctor, Grandfather's laboratory. And just as he left it, a perfect operating room.
Yeah, too bad we can't use it.
Why, when you finish with me, we can make a fortune here in Brooklyn. The large ward in the attic, 10 beds, Doctor. The laboratory, and Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
But calm down, Shawnee. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after.
Don't worry about it, I'll handle it.
Oh, this nice, quiet house. Those aunts of yours. What lovely ladies. I go get the bags, yeah?
No, Doctor. You must wait till we're invited.
But you
We'll
said-
be invited.
And if they say no?
2 helpless old ladies, Doctor.
Candy? Candy?
I cannot.
It's like comes through a beautiful dream. Only hope you're not dreaming, yeah? It's so peaceful.
That's what makes this house so great for us. It's so peaceful.
Charge!
Yes, aunties, those last 5 years in Chicago were amongst the happiest and busiest of my life.
And from Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
I'm sure they won't be interested in our experience in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, we really shouldn't have allowed you to talk so late.
But my meeting Dr. Einstein in London, might I say, changed the whole course of my life. And we were in South Africa in the diamond market, Amsterdam in the diamond business. I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
Hey, good job, Johnny. His face looked so different that the nurse had to introduce me. Because it was wrapped in bandage.
Oh, I love that face. I still keep a picture of it with me.
Well, this looks more like the way you used to look, but I still wouldn't recognize you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Hey, it's safe now.
Well, I'm sure you both want to get to wherever it is you're going.
Oh, but Aunt Abby, I'm so full of that delicious dinner. I can't move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
After all, it's very late and...
I found it!
What'd you find, Teddy?
The story of my life, my biography. You see, here's the picture I was telling you about, General. General Goethals and President Roosevelt at Calibra cut. There's me, General, and that's you.
Oh my, how I've changed.
Well, you see, that picture hasn't been taken yet. We're still digging locks for the canal. And now, General, you'll get up and join me on the inspection of the new lock.
Oh no, Teddy, not Panama.
We go to Panama some other time. It's a long way off.
Oh, nonsense! It's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Why, yes, of course. We let him dig the Panama Canal right down in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you come with me on the inspection of the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon? Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson, but your face is familiar. Let me see. Not now, perhaps later in my life. Yes, on my hunting trip to Africa. You look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother, Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
You know, Teddy, it really is getting rather late. Maybe, and Jonathan and his friend need to go back to their hotel. Maybe you should go to bed.
General Goethals, I command you go inspect the new lock.
All right, Mr. President, to Panama we go.
Bully, that's just bully. Follow me. Yes, yes. It's down south, you know.
Oh, God. Well, bon voyage.
I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, there's a lovely little hotel just 3 blocks.
Martha, this is my home too.
Jonathan, you just can't. There's no room.
No room?
Yes, our rooms are being used.
Used for what?
For our lodgers.
There are lodges in this house?
Well, not now. Well, we plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
Well, there's no room for Dr.
He'll
Einstein.
stay with me.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. You just can't stay here.
You remember this afternoon that as a boy I could be very disagreeable. I don't think it'd be kind for any of us.
Well, maybe we should let him stay here for tonight.
Well, then it's settled. We'll stay here.
Well,
Please go get our rooms ready.
They only need airing out.
we keep them ready to show our lodgers.
Now, I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill. Oh, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
He can't operate on you here.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. When we get organized, we expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, we will not let you turn this house into a hospital!
Hospital? No! Heavens, no! It'll be a beauty parlor.
Big trunk down in the cellar.
My dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you've fixed it.
Well, you're staying here for tonight.
Go get our rooms ready!
Well, for tonight.
Trunk, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
It's a hole, Teddy Dog, 6 feet long and 4 feet wide. It fits Mrs. Spinoza just right.
Down there?
You would think they knew you're bringing Mrs. Spinoza along. That's hospitality.
Oh, it's rather a good joke on my aunts. I mean, they're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
How do we get them in?
Right, we can't just bring him through the front door. We'll bring the car between the house and the cemetery. Then when we've gone to bed, we'll bring him through the window.
A bed. Just think we got a bed.
Hey, pull yourself together, doctor. You have to operate tomorrow. And this time you better be sober.
Johnny, I fix you up beautifully.
And if you don't,
Jonathan, your room's ready.
well, then we're gonna bring the car up between the house and the cemetery.
Well, the car's all right where it is until morning.
I don't want to leave it in the street. That might be illegal.
Abby, what are we gonna do? Well, we're not gonna let them stay more than one night in this house for one thing. Oh, what would the neighbors think? What would people coming in here with one face and leaving with another? What are we gonna do about Mr.
Hoskins.
Oh, it can't be very comfortable for him in there, the poor dear. And he's been so patient.
We need to send them straight to bed.
Yes, we'll not have them attending our funeral services.
General Goethals was very pleased. He said the canal was just the right size.
Oh, Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
Then we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
Oh, Teddy, it would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, Army regulations, you know.
But Teddy, it really must be kept a secret. Yes.
A state secret?
Yes. A state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. How are we gonna keep this a secret?
Well, when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come up from Panama and you bring the poor man down, and then we'll hold the services.
You may announce that the President will be saying a few words. Where's the poor devil?
Well, he's right in the window seat.
Dear me, it must be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Yes, when Dr. Einstein and Jonathan come back, we'll see if we can't get them to go to bed straight away.
Yes, then by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed and ready for the funeral. Abby, I've never seen Mr. Hoskins.
That's right. You were out. Well, you just come right over here and see him now. You know, he really is quite nice looking for a Methodist.
Why so scared? We're bringing the luggage through here.
Well, Jonathan, your room's all ready. I'm sure you and Dr. Einstein are very tired from your health travels.
No, you two can go to bed.
We don't go to bed this early, but You two can go right up.
Well, I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but I think you should go to bed. I mean, I think it's time I came home and took care of you guys.
Well, we don't go to bed until late.
Well, you should! Did you hear me say go to bed? The instrument case can go to grandfather's laboratory in the morning. Oh, just put it on the couch.
I'll wait till you're up and turn out the lights.
Another flight, Doctor. Run along, Martha. All right, Abby. Turn up the lights, Abby.
I'll be right up.
You go around and hand him through, I'll pull.
No. He's too heavy for me. You go around, I stay here and pull, and together we get him down to Panama.
I'll take a look around the house. When I tap on the glass, you open the window. Got it?
Yes. Oh, God. Who left this open? Take him! Show me you lost the legs! Show it!
What was that?
Sorry, Shani, I slept. He lost the shoe anyway.
Coming through.
Shani, open up the door. No, Shani, you go. I say. Go.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Who is it? Teddy, is that you? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the lights, Doctor. You chose a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you should tell me what you're doing here.
Why we happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day. And I've never seen you before.
Well, then
Where's Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done with them?
I suppose we better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein?
I'm out of breath.
A surgeon of great distinction. Somewhat of a magician.
And I suppose you're gonna tell me you're Boris?
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh! You're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon.
What'd they say about me?
For the first time.
What'd they say about me?
Only that there was another brother named Jonathan. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything? Just what did you mean by that?
Well, I thought I saw someone prowling around the house.
You thought you saw someone prowling around the house?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that. That's why I came over here. I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police. But if it was you, And that's her car. I don't need to bother Miss Abby. I'll be running
What
along.
was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
Easy, Johnny, easy. I think she tells the truth.
No, I think she's lying. I think she's dangerous. She should have been let her on live.
No, take your hands off me!
Doctor!
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy! Teddy! Tell these men who I am!
That's my daughter, Alice.
No! No!
Doctor, your handkerchief! The cellar!
What's going on down there?
What is happening?
Why, they caught a sneak thief. A burglar.
Well, we'll call the police.
No need. I've called the police. I have the situation under control. Go back to your room.
Oh, hello.
Mortimer! Where have you been?
To the Norbase Theater. My God, I'm still there.
It's your brother, Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed.
I know this is a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
Who did you say this was again?
It's your brother, Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed, and Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan, I knew you were such a fright, but do you have to look like one?
Easy, John, easy, calm down.
Do you remember the things I used to do to you when we were boys? The times I tied you to the bedpost, the needles under the fingernails? Huh?
My God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Well, don't you two boys start quarreling again the minute you've seen each other now.
Don't worry, Aunt Abby. There will be no fight. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
We've been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, we did invite them to stay for the night, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
It really wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, just for tonight. But as soon as morning comes, I want them out. Where will they be sleeping?
Oh, we put them in Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm sleeping in there. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Johnny, you sleep on the couch and I sleep on the window seat, yeah?
Bet you'd like to sleep down here. The window seat?
Yes.
Oh,
No,
the window seat. Let's not fight over it. The window seat's good enough for tonight. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know what, Johnny? All this arguments. It reminds me of Mrs. Spinoza.
Right. Spinoza. Well, Mortimer. It really wouldn't be kind to inconvenience you like this. You can have the room. We'll be packed in a minute.
Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Well, I tell you all about Mrs. Spinoza while we pack our bags. And we get them down here and the room will be clear for you, don't worry.
Don't bother, Doctor.
You know, you really don't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha and you can take my room.
No need, Aunt Abby. We'll be packed in a few minutes. Then Mortimer can have the room.
Don't bother yourself, Aunt Abby. I'm sleeping down here tonight.
Mortimer!
What's happened?
I've almost been killed!
You've almost been Abby, Martha?
No! It wasn't us! It was Jonathan! He thought she was a sneak thief! No! It was more than that! He's some kind of maniac! Mortimer, I'm afraid of him!
Why, darling, you're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
No, but you think some hot tea or coffee or...
Coffee. Could you make some for me too? And some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
Yes, we'll make some for both of you. Oh, Martha, we can leave our hat and gloves down here for now.
Weren't you going somewhere? Do you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12? Oh, Elaine, you've got to go home.
What? Why, you wanted sandwiches for you both. It won't be a minute.
Yes. Well, don't you remember we wanted to celebrate your engagement? That's exactly what we'll do, dear. We'll make enough sandwiches for both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine.
Mortimer, what's going on in this house?
What do you mean? What's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would. And 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house? Tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home? Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you even love me?
Elaine, I love you so much. I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't know, but it's only a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in the family. It practically gallops. Now, dear, that's why I can't marry you.
Now, you gotta do better than that.
No, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. It's what you expect if Steinberg had written Hellzapoppin.
Now, just because Teddy's a little...
No, it goes way back to the first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower.
Mortimer, that's ancient history.
Take my grandfather. He tried his patent medicines out on dead people to make sure he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Jonathan. You just said he was a maniac. He tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And then there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear. No Brewster should ever marry. If I had met my father in time, I would have stopped him.
But look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? They're the sanest, sweetest people I've ever met.
Well, even they have their oddities.
Yes, but what lovely oddities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one.
Oh, Mortimer! Of course there are others. You can't tell me anything about your aunts?
No, I'm not going to. So, Elaine, will you just go? Something important came up.
From where? We're here alone together.
Elaine, just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
Listen, if you think you're gonna get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not gonna marry me, but I'm gonna marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me so much, will you get the hell out of here?
Will you at least walk me home? I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little walk through the cemetery?
Mortimer, will you kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. I'll call you tomorrow.
You crack!
On Abby, on Martha, come in here.
Be in a minute, dear.
Come in here now.
What is it, dear?
I thought I told you not to let anyone in this house while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan
Well,
just
I don't
walked in.
mean Jonathan.
And Dr. Einstein was with
I
him.
don't mean Dr. Einstein. Who's that in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
This is not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who would that
Aunt Abby, are you really telling me right now that you've never seen this man in your entire life?
be? I certainly am. Why, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody thinks they can walk into this house.
I don't know. Aunt Abby, I don't know how I could believe you. You told me yourself that you put 12 men in that cellar and you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But if he thinks he's come here to be buried in our cellar, why, he's certainly mistaken.
Aunt Abby, how could I believe? I don't think that this man could have gotten the exact idea from Mr. Hoskins.
No. But, well, we always have wanted to hold a double service, but I will not read services over a total stranger!
Aunt Abby, a stranger, how could I believe you? This man is one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, you don't think I'd stoop to telling a fig, do you? Martha!
I'd like to have a word with you, Mortimer.
A word is all about you're gonna get, Jonathan, because I want you and your Dr. Brent out of this house as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm glad you realize you and I can't live under the same roof, but you've come to the wrong solution. Get your suitcase and get out!
Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me. You've had your one night stand in Brooklyn. Move on.
Just because you've graduated from the back post of the typewriter, don't think you've grown up! I'm staying right here, and you're leaving. And I mean now.
Jonathan, if you think you can frighten me, if you think there's anything I fear...
I've been all over the world, and if it's taught me one thing, it's to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look and see what's in the window seat!
Now, Aunt Abby!
Jonathan, why don't you let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat? Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. Jonathan is taking Dr. Einstein and their cult companion with them. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm giving you the chance to take the evidence and leave. You can't ask for more than that. All right, you asked for it. I'm calling the police.
Don't reach for the telephone! Are you still trying to give me orders after seeing what's happened to Spinozzo?
Spinozzo? Oh, I knew he was a foreigner!
Remember what happened to Spinozzo can happen to you, too!
Oh, hello, Officer O'Hara.
Hello, Miss Abby.
What are you doing here?
Well, I saw your lights on, and I figured there might be a sickness in the house. Oh, you have company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
No. Come in.
Yes, come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
And this is our other nephew, Jonathan.
Pleasure to meet you. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. Are any of them staying?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan is just leaving.
Hey. I know you.
I don't think so. Jonathan hasn't been home in years.
Well, he certainly seems familiar. Maybe I've seen a picture of him somewhere?
I don't think so.
You have all your things, don't you, Jonathan?
Well, you'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along.
What's the rush, O'Hara? I'd like to have you stick around until my brother goes.
Einstein!
No, I just came to check in.
You can join us for a cup of coffee.
I forgot the coffee.
Well, I'd better go make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by this time, O'Hara.
Don't bother. I'm due to ring in any minute now.
O'Hara, you can join us for a cup of coffee. Sit down. You can stay until my brother leaves.
Your brother. I ain't seen him around here, have I?
No, I don't think you have.
Certainly reminds me of somebody.
Maybe you've seen his face somewhere in the movies.
I don't go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says they're a bastard's art.
I quite agree with you. Your mother said that.
Yeah, my mother. She was a stage actress, you see. Her name was Peaches Latour. You might have heard of her.
That seems familiar. Maybe I've seen that somewhere in a program. What'd she play?
Well, her big hit was Mutt and Jeff. She played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
You were?
Yep, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born after the 2nd act in my mother's dressing room. And she still made it to the finale.
What a trooper. There must be a good story in your mother. You know, I write about the theater, actually.
You do?
you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
Yes.
Well, it's certainly nice to meet you. You and me are in the same line of business.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. This being on the police force is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. But I'm just gathering material for my play.
Oh, I'll bet it's a honey.
Well, it ought to be. With all the stuff I see on the streets, Mr. Mortimer, you have no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
What time you have?
10 after 1.
Gee, I gotta ring in. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Now, wait a minute, O'Hara. I might be able to help you on that play of yours.
You would? Gee, it's just my fate walking in here. Here, Mr. Mortimer. Sit down, I'll tell you the plot. So, how did I forget this?
Yeah, how did you forget this?
I don't know. Let me think on it. Did I already tell you about my mom?
Yes, you have.
Are you sure?
Yes, you have.
Are you positive?
Yes, her name is Peaches Latour.
Okay. Well, where should I start, Mr. Mortimer?
I think you should wait. It's getting pretty late.
Yes.
Oh, Jonathan, you're leaving, eh? Good, you haven't much time. Look, O'Hara, since my brother is leaving, you should go bring in.
Oh, no, I'm not leaving, Mr. Mortimer.
Why not?
You just offered to help me with my play. You and me are gonna write my play together.
But O'Hara, I'm not a creative writer.
Don't worry about the creating. I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
But O'Hara...
No, sir, I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
But O'Hara, you must leave, since Jonathan is leaving.
You know, in that case, we'll be running along.
Don't do that. You can't leave yet. O'Hara, like I've said before, you should leave because my brother is leaving.
No, I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Sorry I was so long in the kitchen.
Don't bring that in here. O'Hara, would you like to join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Jonathan's leaving.
Oh, well, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
Well, goodbye, Jonathan. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein.
Jonathan, with you coming back to Brooklyn, this gives me a chance to throw you out. The first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinozzo.
You know, Mortimer, I'd always know you'd grow up to write a play with a cop.
Get going now. All three of you.
Well, we get going anyway.
No, we're sleeping right here.
With the cop in the kitchen and Mrs. Spinozzo on the window seat.
That's all they've got on us. Take Spinozzo down and dump him in the bay. And if they try to interfere...
Johnny, your brother, he gives us a chance to get away. We go now, yeah?
No, we're sleeping right here tonight. Look at my face. You can see I've made up my mind, can't you?
I know that look. When you get like this, you'll lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor!
All right. Sometimes we got to stick together. Well, since we're leaving, we have to bring these along.
No, leave them there. You know what, matter of fact, bring them to cellar, move fast. Spinozzo can go out the same way he came in.
Johnny! When I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
An ace in the hole. Also, why did you break the suitcase? This was expensive. This is real.
Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
I thought I told you to leave.
Oh, we're not going anywhere. We're sleeping right here tonight.
Oh, you don't think I'm serious about this, eh? Well,
We're staying right here.
Well, this gets rid of you and Officer O'Hare at the same time. Officer O'Hare, come in here.
Tell O'Hare what's in the window seat. I'll tell him what's in the cellar.
The cellar.
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be quite dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What was he doing in the cellar? These are quite stale.
No thanks, ma'am. That's plenty.
Now, what were you going to say to O'Hara?
Look, Mr. Brewster. Sorry. Your aunts want to hear the play too. Shall I get them in here?
No, look, O'Hare, you gotta ring in.
Oh, to hell with ringing in. I'll get your aunts in here and I'll tell you guys the plot.
No, we'll do this somewhere private, not in front of all these people. How about we go meet somewhere else?
The back room of Kelly's.
Perfect.
You know, why don't you two go down in the cellar?
Well, that's just fine with me. Mr. Brewster, is this the cellar?
No. You gotta go ring in. I'll meet you at Kelly's.
All right, that will only take a few minutes.
I'll ditch this guy and I'll be back in 5 minutes. I expect to find you gone. Actually, wait for me.
I've been waiting 20 years for an opportunity like this.
Well, we got them where we want them. They look guilty. I'm blind.
Are they gone? Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
It was just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but you won't have anything to eat for supper.
Yes, if
Why
you're
not?
still here, when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
You like it? He's got to like it.
Please go get something for us to eat while we bury Spinoza in the window seat.
Oh, no! You're not going to bury him in our cellar!
Why not?
Well, there's just no room.
There's no room.
Yes, it's crowded already.
Crowded with what?
Well, there are 12 grapes down there. And that leaves very little room, and we're going to need it.
12 bodies? I mean, in this house, and buried them down there? You mean murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. No, why, what we do is a mercy. Yes, it's one of our charities.
Shawnee, we've been all over the world and they stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
Well, they got 12 and you got 12.
I've got 13.
13?
Yes, 13. There's Spinoza, the first one in England, the 2 in Johannesburg. There was the one in Sydney, 2 in San Francisco, the one in Phoenix, Arizona.
The Phoenix?
The filling station.
Oh.
There was 4 in Chicago, and then the one in South Bend. That makes 13.
But you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Shawnee. You got 12 and they got 12.
No, I've got 13. He counts with me.
The old ladies are just as good as you are.
You know, that's easily solvable. All I need is just one more, and I think I'll get that pretty fast.
Well, here I am.
Go away.
You stop doing that! The and you can't do that!
Ladies, please go back upstairs where you belong.
Abby! Martha! Get upstairs!
There's no use doing what you're doing because it'll just have to be undone.
I'm telling you, we won't stand for it! All right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is. Oh, you better stop that right now! Oh, where do you suppose Mortimer went? I don't know, but he said to Jonathan, just you wait, I'll settle this. Well, he can't very well settle it while he's out of the house. That's all we want settled. What's going on down there? Oh, and poor Mr. Hoskins.
All right. Now, where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist to get his signatures on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what's wrong with you? Running around getting papers signed at a time like this. You know what Jonathan's doing? He's putting Mr. Hoskins
Oh, he is he? We'll let him. Now I've got to go see Teddy.
Teddy won't be any help.
Once Teddy signs the commitment papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
I don't see how that could possibly protect us. You see, we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
If they find Mr. Spinalzo, then they'd have to find Mr. Hoskins. And if they find them, then they'd get curious, and they'd find the other 12 gentlemen.
Jonathan, Mortimer, we know the police much better than you do. I don't think they pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
But if they get curious, then they'd have to report it into the headquarters.
Well, I don't think they'd bother. They'd have to make a very long report, and if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's to write.
You can't rely on that. It might leak out, and a judge and jury wouldn't understand.
No Judge Coleman would.
We know him very well.
Yes, he always comes to church to pray, just before election.
Yes, and he's coming here to tea one day. He promised.
Oh, yes. Oh, we must remind him of that. You see, his wife recently died, and it's left him very lonely.
Well, come, Martha.
You can't do that. I won't let you. You can't leave this house, and you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Why not? Because if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are!
I am going to do something, but I just need to figure out what I'm going to do. Now, will you please just let me do this by myself?
Well, you've got to get Jonathan out of this house!
And Mr. Spinalzo, too!
I will. I promise you that. And go to bed, will you? And for God's sake, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
If they're not out of this house by morning, Mortimer, we're going for the police!
They will be.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it, Abby?
Yes, if Mortimer's going to do something at last, that just means Jonathan's going through a lot of unnecessary trouble. We'd better tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you better stop what you're doing.
It's all done, did I hear, Mortimer?
Well, it'll just have to be undone. You're going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer promised.
Oh, are we? Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can go to bed for a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, aunties.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By tomorrow morning, you're going to be out of this house. Mortimer promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Well, is Mortimer home?
Oh, he's just upstairs talking to Teddy.
Well,
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye.
you might as well say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see, Mortimer.
Yeah, I'll see Mortimer.
Why do my glasses keep falling off? Smooth like a lake. And now I'm gonna find them down there. 48 hours, no sleep. That bed feels good already.
Hey, doctor, you're forgetting something.
What?
My brother.
Tonight? We do that tomorrow or the next day.
No, doctor, we get him tonight.
Shawnee, please. I got to operate on you.
Yes, you're operating tomorrow. Tonight we get Mortimer. Look at my face. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
Why you like this?
It's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
All right, but we do the quick way, like the fellow in London.
No. I think this calls for something special. I say perhaps the Melbourne method.
The Melbourne? 2 hours! And the fellow in Melbourne was just as dead as the fellow in London.
We had to work too fast in London. I tell you, it didn't have an aesthetic feel to it. But Melbourne, there was something to remember there.
Remember, I wish I did it!
Where are your instruments?
No, Johnny, I won't do it.
Go get your instruments!
No!
Where'd you hide them? The cellar! Where are they?
I won't tell
Then
you!
I'll find them myself!
Don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet first.
But this must be secret.
Secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know.
Japan, those yellow devils. I'll sign it right away.
Yes,
The secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
but at once, Mr. President.
I'll have to put on my signing clothes.
Oh, you get going now, yeah?
Dr. Einstein, I have to do something important.
No.
Very important.
No. You, Turbo, yeah, you keep going.
Dr. Einstein, I have nothing against you personally. You seem to be a nice fellow.
Trouble, yeah, you get going. You leave, you get out.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Listen, Johnny is in a bad mood. And when he's like this, terrible things happen. Terrible things.
Jonathan doesn't worry me now.
Kim, don't do the place. Did you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in the plane act like they have some sense. That's more than you do.
You think the people in plays act intelligently. Take some of the ones I had to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. There's a man, he's supposed to be bright. There, he's in a house full of murderers. He's even warned to leave, but does he go? No. He just stays there. You know what? The murderer even asked him to sit down.
You mean once you sit down?
Surprisingly, that was in there too. And what does he do? He sits down. Now mind you, is that what an intelligent person would do, Dr. Einstein?
You're asking me.
And what do you think they used to tie him up with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Well, why not? It's very convenient.
A little too convenient. Now mind you, when are the playwrights going to use some imagination? They say it's the playwrights who are ruining the theater. It's not.
Can't be? You know, my classes.
Why don't we finish the story, Mortimer? I have been away for 20 years, but never once in all that time, my dear brother, have you been out of my head. In Melbourne, one night, I dreamed of you. When I landed in San Francisco, I felt a strange satisfaction. Once more, I was in the same country as you.
No!
All right, let's get started. All right, it's all ready for you, Doctor.
Johnny, please. For me, the quick way.
No, Doctor. I mean, this must be a real artistic achievement. We're performing in front of one of the most distinguished critics.
The drink, I need a drink.
Pull yourself together, Doctor.
God, it's empty. A friend we walked in here drunk on, she had wine. That, put it. This is all that was left. I split it with you, yeah?
All right. Wait, where are our manners? I mean, to my dear dead brother. That damn idiot! Oh, he goes next, I tell you.
No, we don't get Teddy.
We have Mortimer now, we get Teddy later.
That's where I stop. We don't get Teddy at all.
We have to work fast.
Yeah, the quick way.
Find the quick way.
The Colonel's got a quick blow on that horn!
I'm so sorry, Nathan, we're taking the bugle away from him.
There's gonna be hell to pay. We promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that anymore.
I'm so sorry, officer.
I'm gonna talk to him myself. Where are the lights? Hey! You stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What's wrong with him?
Oh, he was just telling us about the play he saw. This is what happened to the fellow.
Did this happen in the play you saw tonight? They practically stole it from the second act of my play. Why, in the second act, just before I better begin at the beginning. It starts in my mother's dressing room, where I was born. Only, I ain't born yet. You should hear the plot first. So, A man with a big coat and giant mustache walks in while my mother's putting on makeup. He bursts through the door and he goes, "Miss Latour, will you marry me?" He doesn't know that she's pregnant. Well, there she is, lying unconscious in the lingerie. The guy's standing over her with a hatchet, like this. I'm tied up in the chair, like you are. Now, let's see. The place is an inferno. It's on fire. When all of a sudden, through the window, in comes Mayor LaGuardia. Remember who paid for that?
Well, I'm listening, aren't I?
How do you like it so far?
Well, it's what Johnny to sleep.
Well, if he don't want to listen, then he don't get a drink. Let's see, where was I? It's 3 weeks later. I've been transferred, and I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. Let's see, I'm walking on Staten Island, and I'm following this guy, who it turns out is actually following me. Don't let anybody in. I decide that I'll outsmart him. I see a vacant house on the corner, and I goes in.
It's cops!
Now, I brace myself in the dark, and I points my gun,
Johnny, we go, it's cops! Johnny!
and I said, "Come in!" Hello, boys!
What the hell is going on here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? I'm just here with Mortimer Brewster telling him my play.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen?
Joey put a reporting at the station. The whole force is looking for you.
Is that why you were here?
We didn't know you was here.
We came to warn the old ladies that there's hell to pay.
So what happened? Why are you here?
Well, the colonel blew that bugle again.
Yes, he's gotta be put away.
Gee, Mr. Brewster, I gotta get going. But I'll just run through my third act quickly.
Get away from me!
Oh, say, do you know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa! Sorry, Mr. Brewster, but those first 2 acts run a little long, but I don't see anything we can cut out.
You can leave it all out.
Who the hell is this guy?
That's my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away. So, he came back.
Yes, he came back.
This is Brophy. Get me back. We better let them know we found you, Joe. Tell the lieutenant he can call off the big man hunt. We got him. In the Brewster house. Do you want us to bring him in? Oh, alright. We'll hold him right here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
Oh. I've been turned in, eh? Well, I think it's time I did some turning in, huh? Well, first I suppose you and my stool pigeon brother are gonna claim the reward, huh?
Wait, reward?
Like I said, I think it's time I did some turning in. You think my aunts are some sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there's 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
You better be
Hetty.
like your aunts. They have to be your press valor.
Come on, I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. The cellar. 13 bodies.
Go on down in the cellar with him, eh?
You don't want to know what's in the cellar?
Yeah, no, I'm not so sure what he's down in the cellar with. You. I mean, look at you. You look like Boris Karloff.
I'm gonna kill you! I'll kill you!
Well, what do you know about that?
Come in!
What the hell are you doing here? I told you I was taking care of this.
Well, Lieutenant, we were just about...
What happened? Did he put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to go climb.
All I said was that he looked like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
We kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted? If you guys don't look at the circulars we hang up around the station, at least you could read True Detective. Certainly he's wanted in Indiana. Escaped from the prison for the criminal insane. He's a lifer, for God's sake. That's how he was described. He looked like Karloff.
He was trying to get us to go down the cellar.
He says there's 13 bodies down there.
13 bodies buried down in the cellar? And that didn't tip you off he came out of a nut house?
I always thought he talked kind of crazy.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night? And you needn't bother to tell me.
I'll tell you anyway. I was here with Mortimer Brewster writing my play.
Yeah? You're gonna have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Now get back and report in.
Well, Lieutenant, do you think that maybe sometimes I could use a station typewriter?
No, get out of here.
See you Monday.
Take that guy somewhere else and bring him to. See what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy that helped him escape? No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in with a police force full of flatheads like you. Falling for that kind of story? 13 bodies in the cellar?
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
This is the fella that blows the bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim.
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel. This is a spy we caught in the White House.
Take that guy somewhere else.
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You keep out of this.
You're forgetting, Mr. President, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
Hello, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
So you're here because Teddy blew the bugle. So, about everything that's happened around here, Teddy's responsible for. Now, about those 13 bodies.
Yeah, those 13 bodies buried in the cellar. It ain't enough with the bugle blow and the neighbors all afraid of him, but could you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got out? And now he's starting a yellow fever scare. Cute, ain't it?
Who could ever believe that story? 13 bodies.
Well, you don't know. Some people are just dumb enough and you don't know what to believe sometime. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts a murder rumor over in Greenpoint and I had to dig up half an acre lot just to prove that.
Will you excuse me?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Miss Witherspoon. She's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Miss Witherspoon is the superintendent of Happydale.
Come right in. And this is Captain...
Lieutenant Rooney. I'm glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back with you today.
Today? I didn't know it was that. No, not today.
Elaine, I have a lot of business to attend to, so you run along home and I'll call you up.
Nuts! I had no idea it was this immediate.
The papers are all signed. He's going today.
Complete insubordination! You men will find I'm no mollycoddle! When the President of the United States is treated like this, what's this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
Justin. Mr. President, I have very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is it March the 4th?
Practically.
Let me see. Ah, yes, my hunting trip to Africa. Is he trying to move into the White House before I've left?
Who, Teddy?
Taft!
That is not Mr. Taft, Teddy. That is Miss Witherspoon. She'll be your guide to Africa.
Ah, bully! When the safari comes, tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm off to Panama. I'm not Panama, Africa, you know. Enjoy it!
Good morning, darlings.
Oh, we have visitors.
This is Lieutenant Rooney. They're here because Teddy blew the bugle.
Oh, how you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the first budget policemen say you are.
Oh, and I don't think you've met Miss Witherspoon. She's the superintendent of Happydale.
How do you do, Miss Witherspoon?
Oh, so you've come to meet Teddy. She's come to take him.
Oh, no. No, not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, ladies, but it has to be done. The papers are all signed and he's going.
Oh, no, we promise we'll take the bugle away from him.
Yes, we won't be separated from Teddy. I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself and he's going.
Well, you'll just have to take us with him then.
Why not?
Well, it's sweet of them to want to, you see, but we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Well, Miss Witherspoon, if you'll let us go with Teddy to Happydale, we'll ensure that
it's in our will for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid.
Now let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning when I've still got serious work to do. You know there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes. Oh, there are.
Yeah. It ain't only his bugle blowing and the neighbors all afraid of him, but things would just get worse. Sooner or later we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling around that there are 13 bodies buried down there.
But there are 13 bodies buried down there. Yes. Why, if you think that's why Teddy has to leave, you come right downstairs and we'll show them to you. Yes, there's one down there, Mr. Spinalzo, who's down there, but doesn't belong there, so we'll have to go. But the other 12 are our gentlemen.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down there. They were telling me themselves that they had to dig up Half an Acre lot back at Greenpoint. Wasn't that right, Lieutenant?
That's right. Well, you wouldn't have to dig here. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Superintendent, don't you think you could find room for these ladies?
Well, they'd have to be committed.
Teddy committed himself. Can't they sign the papers?
Why, certainly.
Why? If we sign those papers, we'll certainly go with Teddy. Where are they? Yes, where are they? Oh, hello, Officer Klein. Oh, hello. Are you here too?
Yeah, me and Brooke have got your other nephew out in the kitchen.
Is he coming around?
Yep.
Well, get them all signed up, Superintendent. I want to get this all taken care of. 13 bodies.
If you'll sign right here.
And you here, Aunt Abby.
Oh, we're overlooking something.
What?
The signature of a doctor.
Oh, Dr. Ryan! Oh, God! Please, come on!
No, please! No! Ah! No!
Come right in, Doctor. Come right in. Sign. We have some papers for you to sign.
Were you going somewhere, Dr. Einstein?
Please, my glasses. Please, I think I must be going.
Aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think me and Johnny are going to the same place.
You know, we are so looking forward to going. The neighborhood here has changed, so just think of Brooklyn again.
Oh, Elaine, I'm glad to see you stick around, huh?
Don't worry. I think I'm going to.
Hello, Mac. Rooney. We've got that guy that's wanted in Indiana. Now, there's a description of his accomplice. It's right there on the desk. Read it to me. About 5'9", brown eyes, shoulder-length, curly brown hair, talks with a German accent, poses as a doctor. Thanks, Mac.
Don't worry about it, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signatures.
Ha! Thanks, Doc. You're really doing Brooklyn a service.
Now, Mr. Brewster, you sign here as next of kin.
Right here.
That's fine.
Everything complete, everything legal.
Yes.
Well, now, aunties, now you're safe.
When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Well, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy what he can take along?
Upstairs?
I'll show you.
Oh, no, you stay here. Just upstairs and to the left. Well, now that we're leaving, this house is finally yours. Yes, we want you and Elaine to live here.
Oh no, aunties, this house is too full of memories. I can't.
Well, you'll need somewhere to live when you and Elaine are married.
But that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. Mortimer and I are going to be married right away.
Mortimer, we're quite worried about something.
Oh no, darlings, you're gonna love it at Happydale.
Oh yes, we're quite excited about the whole thing. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong. They won't investigate those signatures, will they?
Oh no, they won't investigate Dr. Einstein's.
Well, it isn't his signature, dear. It's yours. You see, you signed as next of kin.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's something that we never really wanted to tell you, but, well, you're a man now, and it's something Elaine should know too. You see, dear, you're not really a Brewster. You see, your mother came to us when she was about 3 months pregnant, and she was such a lovely cook and a sweet lady. So brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Now, don't feel bad about it, darling. And Elaine, it won't matter to you.
Elaine, do you hear? Do you understand? I'm a bastard!
Well, I'll get things started in the kitchen.
Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and Mortimer and I are gonna have breakfast together.
I need some coffee. It's been quite a long night.
Well, in that case, I think you want to be getting to bed.
I do.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take this with you.
We won't be needing the wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, are you leaving too, Jonathan?
Yeah, there's some people back in Indiana that want to take care of him for the rest of his life.
Well, we're glad you have someplace to go. We're leaving too. We're going to Happydale.
Looks like this house has seen the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live
Hey,
here.
I have a small idea. Why don't you turn this property over to the church?
Why, we never thought of that.
I mean, it's already part of the cemetery.
All right, get going.
Well, Jonathan always was a mean boy. Could never stand to see anyone get ahead of him. I wish there was a way we could show him he wasn't so smart. Miss Witherspoon, does your family live with you at Happydale?
I have no family.
Well, then I suppose you consider everyone at Happydale a part of your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to keep quite aloof.
That must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha? Well, since you won't stay for breakfast, the least you could do is join us for a cup of elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
Why, yes, of course. We make this ourselves.
Why, yes. But of course at Happydale our relationship will have to be more formal, but here, you don't see much of elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I had my last glass.
Oh no, here it is.
I want to recognize a few students before we leave tonight. First of all, to my great distress, apparently we're going to lose Annabelle Bolster. Her family is moving to Alabama. She's in 9th grade. She's a spectacular treasure to this program. So if anybody knows what the curtain cord is, let's just tie her up. I I do it. I'll do it. Volunteer. Next, Marley Whitaker. Of working with the creative kids is that means you've got access to really great artistic talent. Marley designed the graphic this year, which was on our poster and is on the front of your playbill. If you haven't had a chance to take a close look at it, do. It's brilliant. Thank you. Zach Becker. You didn't actually see Zach tonight because Zach was backstage, part of the tech crew. Inevitably, during the course of rehearsals, actors have to be gone for one thing or another, and Zach, without fail, over and over and over, stepped in and agreed to kind of be an understudy for everybody. And it's so helpful. You know, anytime the assistant, which is my husband, and I don't have to have our noses in the script, we can watch the stage. It's so helpful. So thank you, Zach. We appreciate it. Our seniors, we've got 2 this year. First is Izzy Wallace. Izzy is first and foremost an athlete. She was part of the basketball team that went to state this year. But every year, she comes and does tech with us for the spring show, which I so appreciate. This year, I finally figured out what an awesome stage manager she would make, to the point that she brought the crew or the cast Oreos for memorizing lines. She's the one that organized to have everything recorded tonight. She talked her dad into, I think, buying new equipment, teaching her how to run it, the whole deal. Just went above and beyond. So thank you, Izzy. Last is Mr. Max Eichens. If you've been at any Nevis theater productions in the last 6 years, you have seen Max on stage. He's an outstanding talent. If you looked in your playbill, you'll see this is not the first time he's played Teddy. The first time was when he was a 7th grader, which was astounding, and he just got better and better. I met Max as a 7th grader who would not stop talking. And he's morphed into this young man with a lot of leadership qualities, and we've been so lucky to have him. It's very bittersweet for me to lose him, because I love his talent, I love his spirit, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
EB rolling down the street. Watch him rolling, watch him, y'all. Watch him rolling, watch him.